All right, welcome back to the Prosperity Playbook. You've got Renee, Courtney, and Britt here. We are three friends that get together and talk about the issues and that we didn't really learn things about in school or maybe from our parents. And so we're trying to just add value to your lives and try to help you learn some lessons that maybe we've learned the hard way. And today, I asked these girls if they would do this episode with me because it's something I'm currently struggling with, which is making time for workouts and finding a workout that really fits for you. And for me, like, I'm not an athlete. We've talked about that before. I did not grow up that way. The first time I ever had a trainer or anything was in my 30s, and it scared the hell out of me, frankly. Like, I cried the first time I met with her because I was so intimidated by it. I just not a workout person. It's not something that was part of my life growing up. And I've kind of gone in streaks, as you guys just said, like, I'm an all or nothing person. I'm either like so on or really, really off. And I'm kind of in a off stage right now. And part of that is because I did Orange Theory for a really long time and I loved it. It was great for me. I have over 450 classes there. I think what worked for me around that was I had to sign up for the class in advance and they charged me if I didn't show up. And I really loved that. I made it fit in my schedule. And then there was actual accountability. I'm not going to pay $12 more not to work out. I mean, it's $12, but still, it was enough skin in the game that I was not doing it. But then it stopped. I did it for years, and then I really felt like maybe that high intensity wasn't serving me anymore. I would come home and I'd feel great, and then all of a sudden, I was just exhausted and starving, and I wanted to eat everything in the house, and I had no energy to get through the rest of the day. And everybody was like, well, you just need to not go quite as hard. And I'm like, again, all or nothing. Like, if I'm there, I'm doing the workout the way that it's supposed to be done. And, I didn't know how to just do it less. So,
Well, and I feel like we're all taught, like, no pain, no gain. There's
right.
such a mentality around, like, you're going all in. If you're there, you're going to give it your all. And that I think needs to shift as you're not a professional athlete that's training for the Olympics,
Right.
And I'm the type that it needs to feel good and I have to be excited to go. So,
and that's what I liked about it, is it was different every day. So for me to walk into a gym is my actual nightmare because I don't know what to do with myself. I don't have those skills. I'll spend half the time trying to like figure out what my next thing is. And if I'm doing it right, that's a big thing for me, is my form, because I do have a lot of back issues and I know that I can very easily hurt myself and then I go backwards again. So it's always, so at Orange Theory for a while, I was like, okay, I need to go down in weight so that I make sure that I'm doing my form correctly. But then it's like, they tell you when you get into your 40s, you need to lift heavy. And I'm like, man, this group class environment, you're never going to get that support around like really pushing your personal goals. So anyway, I went for a while and didn't really find the next thing. And then I tried something called Legree, which is like hardcore Pilates, if you've never done that before. And it was freaking hard. I've done a lot of Pilates in my life. I thought I'll be able to come in and I can do this. It was much harder than I thought. But I was like, okay, this is just what I need. I'm going to do this. And then I threw my back out really bad. Not at Legree, but I will bet you it had something to do with it. Just too much too fast after doing too little for too long. As our buddy Josh, who's a PT, says, that's usually what the injuries come from. And now I've been rehabbing this back for a couple months and I can't figure out, I just can't. I threw it out again last week, unpacking my suitcase, by the way. So I'm trying to find the things that I can do that will still hold me accountable. I'm a huge accountability person, but I've got to think that there's other people out here that are struggling with things like this with me. How do you find the time?
Me.
Yeah. How do you find the time? How do you find the thing that really fits for you? How do you find the thing that you love? Or do you not have to love it? You just need to freaking do it anyway.
Yeah, I'm just struggling what to prioritize. And I want to get up earlier in the morning and fit that in. But now it's getting darker.
I know.
And the end of the day, and it's dark when we wake up. So it's just not as motivational.
It's same for me. Agreed.
Yeah.
And especially to drive, I don't see very well in the dark. So it's always like my terrifying thing, like, shit, I got to drive somewhere in the dark and it's going to be bad.
But I go to Club Pilates. I only have 4 classes in the whole month. And I really would like to do it like 3 times a month. But it's just setting that time aside to fit in the classes that they have available for me to do.
Well, I do like something like that where you have to sign up for a schedule and then I just put it in my calendar like an appointment. I have a Lululemon mirror upstairs that I have classes on all the times that I want, and I never do it because it's not in my calendar. So, Britt, you're the one that is the athlete of
Yeah.
the group and the one that is making time for that. So tell me what that looks like for you.
It has looked very different at different points in my life, and I think that's really important. Is like this is constantly evolving. I had the same kind of like workout routine where I would go to the gym. I would have two exercises where I would do one set of one exercise and then one set of the other exercise, and I would go back and forth between the two until I had my 3 sets done, and then I would pick 2 more exercises. I did that for years. And I loved it. It always felt great. And then one day I was like, this is the most boring thing I've ever done. And I think it's just because, I had been doing it for so long. And so I had a really big slump at that point because I thought that I knew, what really worked and what I was good at and what felt good. And then all of a sudden one day it didn't. And I had to experiment and find new things. And I mean, that's just the human condition. I think that it's so important to keep doing new things because your body does kind of plateau if you're doing the same types of exercises all the time. It's good to do, lift heavier or lift more reps or go swim or play a team sport or just do something totally different because it works your muscles and your brain in a totally different way.
I used to be really good when I was your age at incorporating exercise into my life on a day-to-day basis. So I used to ride my bike to the Old Ridge, which was just a tiny little place on the east end of town, work out, and then ride my bike back home. And I used to start that in, I think, the end of college. But now I moved outside of town. I can't ride my bike anywhere safely, and it's just gotten to be a lot bigger struggle to fit it in.
Well, let's throw out our ages here because I do think that is sort of relevant for all of this podcast, just to see that we bring a kind of a different age range. So I'm Renee, I'm 45. And then
I'm Courtney. I am 55 today. That's why we're drinking
Woo-hoo,
the wine.
Happy birthday! And I'm Britt. I'm 33. I just turned 33 a couple days ago.
So we hit different decades.
Yeah. Something that I have been extremely intentional about, especially this year, I work an office job. And when I wasn't being intentional, I would sit down at my desk first thing in the morning and I would only get up to go pee or to like refill my water.
Yeah.
And some days I wouldn't even eat lunch and then I would go home and I would sit on the couch and watch TV. And that's what my day looked like. And my back started hurting, my hips were hurting, my mood was sour. I was just like kind of depressed and grumpy and I didn't have any energy. Like when I would wake up in the morning, I was already exhausted before the day even started. And I think that's something that is really hard is lack of activity draws more lack of activity. Like the less that you move, the less that you want to move. And so it's hard because you kind of get just in this rhythm that becomes your habit. And so something that I started being super intentional about is getting up and going for a walk 3 times a day, every single day. And
3 times a day.
Wow. How long is this walk?
5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And that's exactly it is like, I'm not committing to, I'm not going to go do a 20-minute walk. I'm not going to go walk a mile. I'm not going for an hour at the gym. I'm going out for a 5-minute walk. And sometimes that's literally, there's a little park by my office. I'll just go do a lap around the park and then come back in and get back to work. And I am so much more mentally in tune with what I'm doing. Like I come back so much more invigorated from getting the fresh air and getting my blood pumping, and it gives me more energy. And then when I get off work, I do want to go to the gym or go play a sport or, go do the extra thing. It has made such an impact just literally going for these little micro walks.
I love that.
And what helped was we do it as a group where somebody in the office will be like, okay, we're going for a walk in 5 minutes. And so everybody can kind of wrap up the task that they're in. And then we all go take a stroll together. And the accountability piece of it is key. It
That's
helps
nice
so
that you have it
much.
pre-planned.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's perfect. We've actually, my team is all remote. I live in Montana, and then I have one in Tennessee, one in Oklahoma, and one in Texas. And so we've kind of talked about that. Like on our pipeline calls, we should probably just get up and be walking while we're doing this or something, because we all sit at our desks all day. And I do try to do a lunchtime walk with the dogs, which is usually ends up being about 25 minutes. We have a specific route we go. It's about 1.5 miles. But today I just didn't get it in. I'm flying out tomorrow. I didn't have enough time. And it's a challenge, but I do know my energy level is better. But I might try this 5-minute situation. Although my dogs are going to be like, we're going for a walk. And then they're going to be like, you bitch.
That's all we get. Like, just go do a lap around the house, you know, like it's, there's no pressure. It's just like, okay, I'm just going to go stretch my legs out for a minute. And then you feel like you accomplished something. You're like, sweet, can check that off of the list. And it feels good.
I was listening to something the other day, and he was saying to go for a 30-minute walk if you were struggling with an idea or trying to come up with a business idea or process through something, because you need the 30 minutes to let your brain get into that mode and come up with the solution.
Absolutely. Yeah, to just like unplug and let your brain for a little bit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can't remember what the book was that I read, but I read something that said there is absolutely the law of diminishing return on your energy throughout the day. And you think you're more productive by just sitting there and busting out 8 hours or 10 hours, but you're not, because your brain can only focus that hard for so long. Oh, Free to Focus. That was the name of the book. And that's what it was talking about. And he was saying, like, realistically, you'd be better off to plan out 3 hours and then go do something else, like your walk or whatever it is, and then come back and then tackle a few more hours. And I definitely do notice when I do that half-hour walk at lunch that I am refreshed and I can come back. But it's a hard thing to prioritize. And if you don't put it in your calendar, or I won't say you, I'll say me. If I don't put it in my calendar, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's important too, like any movement is good movement. And I mean, like my example earlier, when I would sit at my desk all day and then go home and sit down and watch TV, like that's the worst possible thing that I could do. But if I went home and vacuumed or gardened or did some yard work or did some home projects, or if you have kids, you're chasing your kids around the house, like turn on your favorite songs and do some dancing around the living room. Or, you know, like when you're vacuuming, do some lunges around the house. You can sneak movement in so many ways.
Yeah.
We used to, at the office, we would like shout out that we were going to have I don't remember what they even called them. It was like a safety meeting or something like that. And we would all stand up and do like 20 push-ups against the wall or 20 squats, or, you know, like the whole office would do something like that. So
I always forget to do that. I need to just put it in my calendar.
And that's exactly it. When your calendar pops up and it's like 10-minute warning, you know, like you're going to get it done.
Do squats while you're looking at your computer. You can do the push-ups on the desk or the counter.
Yeah. On the days that I know that I'm not going to make it to the gym, or, you know, I have a super busy day and I'm not going to get in movement, I do try to be sneaky with it too. Like I will go park in the furthest parking spot away from the front door of my office, or obviously like take the stairs instead of taking the elevator. Or, you know, if you can sneak it in, if you have a standing desk, or you could put, you know, a treadmill under your desk, or take a stretch break, or instead of using a cart at the grocery store, carry your basket. Like anything that you can do to get a little bit of extra movement in is so helpful.
Well, I think that's a good point. I think sometimes we think it's an all or nothing situation. And by we, I mean me.
Nah, it's we.
It's y'all.
You know, you think it's going to be, you know, I have to go get this whole 1 hour workout done. And if that doesn't fit, then the day's a write off and I'm going to drink wine and eat shit food. And you're right. Like the more you sit, the more you want to sit.
You perpetuate it.
Exactly. And they say sitting's the new smoking. It's one of the most dangerous things you can do.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like I'm kind of stuck in that little whirlpool situation of like, I feel tired all the time because I'm not getting in the activity. And part of it is this time of year. I know that we all kind of go inward and
we're getting ready for hibernation.
Right. Literally. Our bodies are prepping for hibernation.
Yes.
It's like eat food, get fat, and sleep. Like that's what you're supposed to do in the winter. That was what
And then
the
freak
cavemen did.
out on January 1.
So, you know, but I want to, you know, for me, my goals are different. I just want to be healthy. I don't want my back to hurt. I want to stay in shape. I don't want to keep gaining weight. I'm back to a weight that I don't like again. And it's not that I'm super unhappy with it, but I know it can't keep going up.
I want abs again.
Oh, geez, girl.
So
Good for you.
I think this is really important to talk about is goals, because so often we work out for that reason. We're like, you know what, New Year's resolution, I'm getting abs this year. Or, we set a goal to quote unquote fix our body, which I think is so toxic, because I think we're not working out to fix our body, we're working out to thank our body. We are working out to take care of mental clarity and stress relief and confidence and make ourselves feel better. And then, yeah, maybe you lose some pounds and get some abs, and that's a bonus. But I don't think that that should be the reason that we're working out. I know that if I work out, I feel so much better. I feel so much closer to the best version of myself. And it has nothing to do with what I'm seeing in the mirror. It has to do with what my brain is doing.
That is
For sure.
very, very well said. I think that's an excellent point. And you're right. Like for me, it used to be I wanted to look good in a bikini. Like, great. Now it's more about I just want to have energy. I want to be able to keep up with my daughter when we're doing things. I want to have, well, it's just simply I just want to have energy and I want to be healthy and I want to take care of my body. And so that looks very different for me, but I don't know how it fits yet.
Yeah. I started setting a goal probably about a year ago, actually. Oh, that's kind of crazy to think about. I set a goal to have intentional movement every day. And before I set that goal, my goal had been to work out 5 days a week, or, I'm going to work out for this many minutes every week. Like I was setting a goal to have a workout routine. And what would happen is I would be working out, 5 days a week for a couple of months and I was feeling good. And then I would get sick, or I would get bogged down with something with work, or there would be an event and I would miss like 3 days. And then I was like, well, I missed my goals. And then I would literally not work out again for 3 months because I didn't meet the goal and I disappointed myself and I gave up. So
Been there.
yeah, and I think that's really common and it's really easy to do. So I changed that goal to be I'm going to have intentional movement every single day. And that can be taking my dog for a walk. That can be having a stretch break in the middle of the day. That can be playing a game of volleyball. Like just making sure that I am not just sitting all day and I'm doing something that is telling my body, I see you, I care about you, I am going to invest in you. And it has changed my entire life because even when I was really sick, I got like the freaking plague last week, whatever was going around
I did
Bozeman.
too.
And I vacuumed my house one day and I felt so much better because I still did something productive that got my blood pumping. I think it's really important to note that I think that motivation is bullshit. Obviously, motivation has a time and a place, and we are all going to feel motivated to work out sometimes. And when that happens, awesome. That's fantastic. But motivation is not going to be around all the time.
Especially if you haven't done it in a long time. The motivation is just not going to be there.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm motivated, but I just don't prioritize it. And I get myself so inundated with all these other things I need to do.
I think if you
I
were
need
really
to do
motivated,
it
you would prioritize it. And that's exactly why I think motivation is bullshit.
Okay.
Because,
Fair.
we all tell ourselves like, yes, I want to work out. I absolutely
Well, I
do.
know it'll
but then,
feel good.
Yes, exactly.
And I turn on my favorite music, which makes it so much better. It goes with the beat.
Yeah. I would say that consistency is the number one most important thing when it comes to movement, when it comes to working out, when it comes to anything physical. Discipline becomes habit, and consistency is like you have to make it easy for yourself to do it consistently, whether that's you're laying out clothes the night before so you can just wake up and put them on without having to think about it. You're scheduling it into your calendar like we were talking about earlier. You're doing it first thing in the morning, and finding accountability, whether it's friends or tracking apps or team workouts or going to a group workout, so that you're not the only one that is keeping you consistent, but you have other people that are keeping you consistent too. But if you can stay consistent over a long period of time, I mean, you're good. That's all you need. The motivation will feel good sometimes, but you won't need the motivation to be consistent.
I think that's a really good point. 2 points in there. One, take down the barriers or what makes it hard. I saw a speaker one time that was having the same battle. He was trying to figure out how to get in the habit of this. And it was like getting up in the morning and trying to figure out what his workout clothes were supposed to be. So the dude would literally go to sleep in his workout clothes. He would wear them to bed, put his tennis shoes at the end of his bed so that when his alarm went off, he didn't have that excuse. And he would just put the shoes on and drive to the place. And pre-planning his workouts, because that was the other thing. There's always an excuse. So whatever you can do to remove that barrier for you, I think is a huge thing. And the other thing that you said was consistency. So I'm great at this in my business, knowing that like the little things I do every day are the things that actually add up over time. But you're right. This doesn't have to be like I just ran a marathon today. This has to be get up, move a little bit more. It's me versus me. It's me versus who I was yesterday. That's how I always try to look at things in my life. I always say I'm not super competitive, but I think I am a little more competitive than I admit.
You're definitely competitive. You're competitive with yourself more than anything.
100%. And so it's kind of me versus who I was yesterday. And if I can do just a little bit better, and I don't win that every day. I really don't, like, especially lately. But I've noticed, I'm getting pretty good sleep. Why do I not have more energy? And I know it's the movement piece. And I talked to a coach a couple months ago and I was like, I need this. I was telling her, I'm like, I'm kind of tired of my own bullshit. I need to focus on my health, blah, 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 all these things. And she's like, you need to focus on your health and it will get you out of your own way with the bullshit, with everything else. Like once you do that, once you focus on you, once you find your energy, you're going to solve all of these other problems in your life. And to your point, like I was like, oh, that's so simple. I should totally do it. But I must not have found the right why, or I would be doing it. So I think it's simply just building those little habits into my day. How can I add this into my calendar? And for me, it has to happen first thing in the morning if I'm going to do a workout. If I try to plan it later, it is not happening. I am fried by the end of the day.
Well, I kind of think you and you're probably similar in our businesses where it is competitive. We have to be competitive with ourselves. We have business goals and we count that as so important compared to taking care of ourselves. And it just gets put on the back burner for me where I feel like I would let down so much from not obtaining the goals for the business side of it. And then the exercise goes out the window.
I feel that big time.
I think just as women, we are so great at prioritizing everybody else's needs before our
100%.
own.
Yeah.
And so, if you're being a business owner first and you're being a mom first and you're being a spouse first and you're being a boss first, there's so little room left for self-care.
Right.
So, but like if you are trying to pour from an empty bucket, obviously, like you're only going to have so much to give. You can only be so much of the best version of yourself if you're not pouring into yourself first. And so I think just like changing our mindset around it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to go from sitting on the couch to running a marathon. You don't have to go work out 5 days a week, and you don't have to have the best butt on the block. Like it's not about accomplishing the end goal. It's about accomplishing today. Like I'm going to go do something that makes me feel good and makes me just 1% better today.
I think that's a great point. And I do think you just said something about accomplishing the goal. Like, I feel like with your health, there's no goal. Like, the goal is to stay alive.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yes.
So there's
Or to get
no
the abs.
goal.
But it's so hard.
I posted a thing, I think it was actually today on my Instagram, and it was kind of about, it's not about the finish line. It's not about accomplishing the goal. It's about becoming the person you were supposed to be on the way to get there. It's always about the journey. And I think that's what people need to get their heads wrapped around. And by people, I mean me, around working out. Because for me, I always do better if I have a specific thing like, oh, I'm going to train for this race, or I'm going to do this challenge, or I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have this specific food plan, and I'm going to do this workout regimen. Like, I can follow a plan like nobody's business, but that's not really.
So we need to come up with a hack to change that song in our head.
Well, again, it's not about the goal. It's about becoming the person that cares about my body, becoming the person that makes my health a priority. And I'm frankly, it's pretty clear I'm not there yet, but I want to be that person. And it's little steps every day to get my energy back, to get to where, I mean, it's so easy, especially this time of year. I'm like, let me just eat some shitty food that's really quick and that tastes amazing, but it's doing nothing to add health to my body. And there are times you can totally do that. But I also know if I clean it up and I eat more protein and I just have more energy, I just straight feel better and my brain functions better. So, how do I become that person instead of, where I'm at?
I feel like I just keep trying to get caught up on the business side of things or whatever else it is. And then I feel like I'm underwater because I'm still not getting ahead there. And so the other stuff just doesn't happen.
Yes, I'm the queen of like, once I get caught back up, and which is like, I feel like this is never going to happen. And I honestly
in
don't.
50 years when I'm caught up.
When I'm dead.
And then it doesn't matter.
Right. When I retire. So yeah, it's always, and honestly, I kind of think I don't want to be caught up because of that. One, I'd be like, shit, I don't have enough business. And two, then I'd have to actually do the shit that I keep saying I'm going to do. So I think there's a thing there where I kind of keep myself in this perpetual purgatory situation on purpose. And I acknowledge that I'm doing that. And I kind of want to kick my own ass for that, but I still can't get out of it.
So we need a counselor.
Yes, everyone needs a counselor. I think something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. So my partner is in a job that he doesn't love. He doesn't hate it, but it's just kind of the same thing day in and day out. It's not stimulating. And we had a conversation and he said, I don't think that there will ever be a job that I love. Like, it's just work. And I said, okay, well, you have only had 4 jobs ever in your life. And so I just don't think you have found the right job that stimulates you, that excites you. And I think that when it comes to working out, it's very similar where if you've only tried a handful of modalities of working out and all of them felt like a chore, you haven't found the right one. Maybe you love pickleball. Maybe you love soccer. Maybe you love group classes. Maybe you love Zumba, but you haven't ever tried any of those things, so you don't know that you love it. Something that I found, I was having a really hard time with my workout routine, like I mentioned at the very beginning of the episode. What I did that got me over that slump, I got a membership at our local hot springs. I love water. I could spend every single day in and around the water and I would be the best version of myself. So I would go work out. They have a great gym there. I would go work out, and then immediately following the workout, I could go enjoy the hot springs. And so it was like I got to reward myself immediately with that. And I was over my slump literally on day 1, and I was like addicted to it, and I wanted to go every day. So I think if you can just like, don't give up on yourself and don't let yourself off the hook. And it's an excellent way to meet people, whether it's a personal trainer or there are people that you meet at the gym, or maybe you go to a group class. I just started doing this group class with a group of local women, and like they're going to be friends of mine for a long time because we're doing this really hard thing together every Monday morning. So
shameless plug for 406 CT. Find him on Instagram. Former Bobcat football player. He's the nicest guy you'll ever meet and will kick your ass. I'm scared, but someday I'll come to you, CT.
Yeah, he's amazing.
That's his name. Okay.
Yeah.
I do
Cleveland
remember.
Thomas is his name.
What is it?
Cleveland Thomas.
Okay.
He was a big deal for the Cats. So yeah, anyway, he's a great guy. So, but I brought this up before the episode when I was just telling these ladies. So you bring up the personal trainer thing, and my hesitation for that is because this has ended badly for me every time I've done it. I've had multiple different trainers I've had a private Pilates instructor. Every single time I have somebody that's a private trainer, it turns into coffee talk. It turns into a counseling session. Like, everything's great for a couple weeks. They kick my ass. We get in a good groove. And then all of a sudden it's me counseling them, or we're just talking about shit. And it happens every damn time. And I've gone back to one trainer multiple times. I've gone back to my Pilates gal multiple times and said, okay, this is why I dropped you before. I love you. I loved what we do, but I'm not paying you $65 an hour to be my friend. So like, kick my ass. And it always ends up the same way. It takes no time at all before we're right back to where we're just sitting there talking about problems. And so personal training doesn't work for me. And I hope CT listens to this and calls me and is like, I will kick your damn ass, get your ass down here. But
And
after I
protect
fix
your
my
back.
back, but
Britt and I don't have that same issue. But
I know it's clearly me. It's clearly me.
I do remember when I had a membership to the Ridge, even the new one, and I would do the circuit training in there, and I absolutely loved it. And I just thought, I'm just going to go in here and act like I know what I'm doing, because I had gone through and worked with a trainer to create my workout program, and I just did it on my own. I had a little sheet, marked it off, loved it. It felt great. But my ex-husband decided he wanted to be a member, and he totally screwed up my membership rate because I had like a legacy rate that was like $50 a month or something really affordable.
Well, you know what? Actually, I think that's an important topic, because I think there is money becomes a good excuse for people not to join a class, not to join a gym, not to work out. But my argument, because there was a while I was doing Orange Theory and private Pilates, and I was spending a shit pile of money every month on working out. And I was like, you know what? There is nothing better I can spend my money on. I spend money on way dumber shit than this. So I encourage you not to let money be your barrier. There's a lot of times where if you work for a company, sometimes they can even have that a sponsored thing, like your health insurance sometimes pays for it. I know if you're a senior citizen, sometimes Medicare will pay for certain workouts. So
I'm getting closer to that.
Happy
There
birthday.
are creative solutions too. Like there are apps, Daily Burn is one and Beachbody is one. There are a lot of apps where it's like $100 for the whole year and you get like unlimited videos and live classes that you can do, where you can either do it at a gym or you can do it in the comfort of your own home. And I mean, if you go on YouTube, there's like infinite amount of workout videos that you could do on there. So if finances is like the number one barrier, you're just making up your own excuse.
YouTube
I'm
is
sorry,
great.
but you've got solutions. And second, if you're like, well, I don't have a gym membership, I don't have anything at my house, you can do so much with just body weight. You could be the strongest person ever with just body weight.
Planks.
And you can go grab a milk jug out of your fridge and use that as a weight. Or, you know, like I've definitely been creative with just things that I found around the house if I wanted to have a little bit of weight before I had stuff at my house. So there are definitely creative solutions. Go for a walk with a friend. Like that's the first place to start. If you're in a slump, if you don't even know where to start, if the gym intimidates you, that is a million other people, I promise, feel the same way that you do.
Like the smell of a gym makes me want to throw up. I'll be honest.
Which that's so funny. I go into the gym and I'm like, this is my happy place.
Yeah, I felt like I really did something.
No.
So funny. But I would say just like start small. You know, you can start with just going for a walk, and then maybe you're going for a walk every day and you've been consistent with that for a week and that feels really good. So then maybe you go for a walk and you do 10 push-ups in your office at the same time that you do your walk. And then maybe you do that for a week and that feels really good. So then maybe you decide to go to the gym one time that week, or you could decide to go play tennis one time that week, or, you know, whatever your thing is that you're going to go do, just do it one time. And then maybe that feels good. And so then maybe you go 2 times. Like you don't have to make this all or nothing goal where you're going to do everything all at once. And then when you fail one week, you don't ever go again. Like let yourself off the hook, because being a human being, we're so freaking fragile. We got to be nice to ourselves.
You just made me think of when I started with yoga, and I had just gotten divorced, and my now counselor had told me when I didn't have any money, well, just wake up in the morning, think about what is causing you anxiety, lock it away. So I visualized putting it in a file drawer, locking it and saying, you can't come out till I'm ready to deal with you. And then breathe it out and do 10, 15 minutes of yoga. That was free.
Love that.
Free advice, free workout, free release of all that anxiety. And I never forgot that. And it felt so good, and it helped me really get my mind straight, that I've loved yoga and Pilates forever now. And Pure Barre feels so good.
Love that.
Well, and that's a great point. I mean, it can be simply 15 minutes of yoga every day, and there are a billion places to find that. There's free apps, there's
Maybe if
Pinterest.
I just do it 15 minutes a day.
No, but seriously, I mean, if you want your abs back, it's going to take a long time in 15 minutes. I'm sorry. It's just how it works. But it will get you towards a lot of those goals. And in that 15 minutes a day will probably be the catalyst to you wanting to do 30 minutes and then 45 and then whatever. And then you're dying for 90 minutes in a hot yoga class someday. I don't know. But I do think a big thing I want to come back to what you said, Britt, was this isn't about punishing your body. This isn't about trying to attain supermodel status. Like, Courtney,
wants.
we're 45 and 55, baby. Like, us looking
Christy
like
Brinkley
Barbie
looks
dolls.
awesome.
She does, and good for her. But she also, that's her job, is to
She
look
doesn't
awesome.
drink.
Yeah, you know. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. So I'm in this mastermind group, and there are, I will tell you, probably a third of the group doesn't drink at all. It's something that they've just come over, and over time they're like, this doesn't add to my goals. And a lot of them are insanely in shape. They're very hardcore on their fitness. There is one guy that drags his little cooler to the hotels because he brings his own pre-prepped meals. Like, I'm never going to be that girl. I don't want to be
No.
that girl. Good for him. And he looks freaking amazing. But there are, especially the men in this group, are very hardcore about their workouts. They're very disciplined. And I hate to admit this, but most of the high-powered people that I know that are very successful are also physically in shape. And I think it's because it keeps your mind sharp, it keeps you there, and it teaches you the discipline that you're talking about. If you can be disciplined with your workouts, you can be disciplined in the other areas of your life to be able to crush it. And I know in my brain that this is the reason, that my health is holding me back from where I really want to be. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for my success. I love where I'm at. And that is actually the problem. You were talking about Forrest not liking his job. I love my job. I love what I do so much. It is very hard for me to take time away from it because my brain just nerds out on it. And I love helping the people. And I want to be in my integrity and getting people pre-approved as fast as I can and helping them. It is very hard for me to take time away from it.
Yeah, I understand that totally. I love looking at the property. I love problem solving. There's some parts I don't like, but for the most part, I really love what I do, and I can't imagine doing anything different.
If you don't know what you like, there is a website / app called ClassPass. And you basically pay a gym membership and you get to go try like a whole bunch of different gyms in your area. So you can try bar and you can try Pilates and you can try yoga. And so that way you're not like going and getting a yoga studio membership and you go to one class and realize you don't actually like yoga. So that can be a really cool way. One of my friends introduced me to that because she was like, I want to try out all these things without having to fully commit to one of them. And so that can be a really cool thing that I highly recommend.
Pure Bar
trying.
and Club Pilates and I think the Stretch Lab are all the same company, and I don't understand why they don't have something that
where
you can
go to
do
all of them.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. ClassPass is good to look into, especially if you live in like a big city, because you'll have a ton of different options there. But otherwise, most of these places will let you come do one workout for free. Like, come try it, do your intro class. They'll give you the whole spiel, and then you can decide if you like it or not. And then if you do, then you can join a membership and spend some money on that. So, before we wrap up, I just want to say, hopefully this is connecting with some of you. I got to believe I'm not the only one that's struggling with this right now. We want to be encouraging. That's what we're always here for, is to support you. I do want to say, of course, like, subscribe, share this with somebody else that's struggling. And like, if you have tips, please comment. Like, Britt is our guru here and she knows all the things. And I always learn things when I talk to Britt. She's my hero, but
right back at you, girl.
But if you have comments, if you can save us, please comment below. We want to hear from you. And then, of course, as I said, like, subscribe and share because we want to help as many people as we can.
I want to challenge every single one of you listening to this to commit to one small daily movement this week. Even if it's just a stretch or a 5-minute walk, commit to it for this whole week. And I'm curious to see how you feel after a week. So please let us know.
that.
You know what? It is Special Olympics time of year where movement is a big part of it. And our company has challenged people to do that as well. And we're doing the Special Olympics fundraiser along with it.
I love it. Let us know what you're committing to this week, and then let us know how you feel after 7 days. I can't wait to hear all about it. Here's to empowering each other one story at a time.